All right, so it's not air, it's water symbol. And so is his card. So you guys are both water symbols. Interesting. All right, so I'm going to read your card. I want to read everything that the whole book says just because I found it to be pretty insightful. So here we go. So platypus, woman's wisdom. According to Aboriginal legend, the platypus was birthed from the forbidden coupling of two souls joined by unlawful union. Out of vengeance for their reprehensible behavior, the elders transformed her into a duck and him into a water rat. They were then exiled indefinitely from their respective clans. She eventually produced an egg from which hatched a strange, furry, duck-billed creature equipped with 4 powerful webbed feet, the platypus. Those who have ever felt abandoned or rejected should seek the wisdom of the platypus. So first off, I'm going to stop right there. That totally is you, and that totally is how I feel that he feels, that he probably feels abandoned and rejected for a lot of things that may have happened to him in the past, and so he's definitely the one seeking the wisdom of your platypus. And that sounded wrong. All right, so to continue. She was created under a blanket of dishonesty, judgment, and betrayal, brought into this world as a result of true, honest, but devastating love. No matter how old we are, we instinctively look to our parents as our primary role models for confirmation and guidance in all areas of our life. But what if that guidance is absent or predisposed by traditional values or beliefs inappropriate for today's world? You're messaging me right now. I'm going to have to move your little bubble away. All right. Platypus is not only committed to honoring her parents' heartfelt desire to see the people merge with peace and love in their hearts, but also to empowerment of all women by reminding them of their worth, wisdom, and their role as sorcerers, individuals charged with the power to create within the dark recesses of their womb. She works to free all women of guilt and oppression and to reinstate their connection to the source. If Platypus has swum into your cards today, you are being prepared to realize, understand, and embrace the potency of your own intuition and higher levels of knowing. So with that, I feel like that kind of correlates to what I was feeling with your cards too, of you being the indigo child card, the glimpse card, and you really honing into your your intuitive skills, the what Ariel called you, not the clairsentient, but the clair, one of those, I forgot, because there's like 5 different clairs, but the one that you are, you need to hone into that one and really trust in your instincts and yourself. I feel like that's what that's talking about. All right. A creature that swims with her eyes shut, Platypus listens to the heartbeat of the Earth Mother for direction. She looks to her inner yin and yang for guidance, thus finding the strength needed to make her own decisions. She honors her innate masculine and feminine qualities, knowing that she is more than capable of navigating herself through life without the support of others. So that I totally feel like, is you in the moment too, with the step you took with, moving all the way out there and moving with Ariel, and to totally do that and be independent and on your own and make that big decision. So I totally feel like this card is communicating with you in a bunch of different ways. And lastly, you are being urged to trust your own judgment, direction, and endurance. This is the wisdom of all women, the ability to trust in their intuition and to consciously act with purpose. Women are natural dreamers, visionaries, and mystics, but they must embrace their masculine aspects in order to realize the full potential of these gifts. Also, it used the word gifts, which was in your card. So I know it's like, it probably has nothing to do with the card, but just a funny little coincidence that it says gifts, and that was one of your cards. All right, so with the last paragraph summing it up, again, it talks about, trusting, your intuition, trusting your judgment. It also mentions dreams, and you're talking about having those dreams about Troy. So I believe, just to really don't blow those things off, like the little, simplest things, dreaming about him in that way, or the smallest little feeling you have, really pay attention to those things and delve deeper into those things. All right, so that was your card. Now for his card, I pulled Black Swan, Grace, and the number is 41, so it'd be 5. And I have pulled this card before, and it's also a water card. So like I said, you guys both got water cards, so that was really interesting. So I'll read from I'm going to read from the actual, it goes into detail about the swan, but then it gives the actual kind of meaning of the card. All right, I'll read the last 2 paragraphs. So it says, without inner beauty, peace, and confidence, there is no grace. People who have looked deep within themselves, who have healed their past and reclaimed their inner child, know grace. So that first line, people who have looked deep within themselves, who have healed their past and reclaimed their inner child, know grace. Keep that line in thought, because I pulled another card that definitely goes hand in hand with what that's saying. All right, grace is the ability to walk through life, head held high with humility, pride, and a balanced ego. Grace allows us to be strong, abundant, and proud without being aloof, pompous, or rude. So I'm not saying he's rude, I'm not saying he's pompous, but I definitely feel like he is really, shut out his inner grace because of the way he puts himself off, with the whole bad boy image and the vibe, that I picked up on, the vibe that you picked up on too. That's definitely shadowing over his inner grace. All right. Grace keeps us grounded and in touch with those less fortunate and those who have not yet reclaimed the knowledge. If Swan has gracefully floated into your cards today, get ready to recognize your true essence and to trust the grace of your own being. Be prepared to see the golden potential in those around you as you relearn to unconditionally love yourself and radiate the inner beauty that yearns to be discovered. So I feel like with that line, I'll be prepared to see the golden potential in those around you. That being you, he's going to really see you, as that golden potential to help him relearn that grace that he has, kind of put aside. Prepare to awaken the grace that lays dormant. Allow yourself to access Spirit's gifts. Again, it says the word gifts. So allow yourself to access Spirit's gifts of self-empowerment so that you may finally learn to believe in yourself on all levels. Ready yourself to transform your sense of abandonment into mystery. so that others may be drawn to you in awe and wonderment instead of being turned away by fear and confusion. Allow your inner beauty to emerge, and the world will applaud and shower you with reward. That is Swan's promise to you. All right, so going back real quick. So a lot of these words are really like hitting home to like the other card and to what your cards were saying. So we got the word gifts again, which we did in your card and also in the cards that you pulled. And in your card, it talked about someone that has feeling of abandonment is going to seek out the platypus, which he totally is feeling with what this card is saying. And it was totally saying, that person that was feeling abandonment was going to seek out the platypus. So, and also, you do feel very drawn to him. You're very in awe and wonderment, so you are picking up those things about him, but he's also kind of giving you a sense of fear and confusion because you kind of don't know how to react to him, what he really wants. So this is definitely him. And when I first pulled Grace, I was like, what the heck is this card doing in his spot? I didn't think like that card was meant for him, but the more I really delved into the card, I was like, okay, this totally makes sense. So far, I'm loving the card for you, and I'm loving the card for him. Now, as the card that is connecting you two together. So, this one was the kookaburra. I'm not really sure how to say it. I've never heard of it. It's an Australian animal, but I'm going to call it the kookaburra. And it stands for healing. And the number is 16, so it is 7. I believe this is a fire. Yes, fire animal. So, let's see. All right, 16, kookaburra. All right. I'm just going to read the whole thing here. All right. Taking responsibility for your own healing is probably one of the most confronting things anyone can do, especially if the intention is to acknowledge and release pent-up pain, confusion, and resentment, which are common byproducts of years of postponed healing. So, that right there kind of fits in for Troy, that he needs to take responsibility for, all the actions that have accumulated to this point for, why maybe he does the things he does or presumes his looks and the way he acts and stuff is because of that pain and resentment he keeps bottled up. So for healing for him, I feel like he needs to, like the card says, release that pent-up pain and confusion and resentment. In our times, it is common for people to live their entire lives without ever truly healing many of their past painful experiences and long-held resentments. Most of the time, these individuals do not realize there is an alternative to the internal suffering caused when we ignore the need for healing or fail to see that there is healing to be done. It is often ignorance rather than denial that prevents healing from taking place. The kookaburra has a distinctive call that strongly resembles human laughter, thus earning it the title of the laughing kookaburra. Many assume, therefore, that the message of the kookaburra is that of lightening up and learning to laugh at yourself. It may be true that its laughter inspires others to laugh along with it, and this rather obvious assessment of kookaburra's dreaming is sometimes relevant. But the truth of the matter is that if Kookaburra does appear in your cards today, its true message goes far deeper than its superficial laughter. Among their regular prey, kookaburras catch snakes by plunging down, seizing them behind the head, flying up high into the air, and dropping them into their death. Snake is the hairbringer of healing on all levels. I don't know what hairbringer means. I'm sorry. Kookaburra, therefore, as a bird that hunts snakes, is telling you to take responsibility for your own healing and to stop laughing it off. And you notice that it mentions the word responsibility in here a few times, and we will get into the next few cards, and you will see why that has a specific meaning. All right. Kookaburra, therefore, as a bird that hunts snakes, is telling you to take responsibility for your own healing and to stop laughing it off. Although you may have never spoken of your desire to see your own healing fulfilled, those around you will have sensed the need of verbalizing your need for healing to these people will not only be a relief for you, it will result in a collective sigh from those around you. That explains so much will be the general consensus. Sorry, I suck at reading words that I don't know how to say. Kookaburra awakens us to our inner truth, and thus the dawning of a new day. So remember that to witness a silent kookaburra is Spirit's way of restoring faith in our quest for personal healing. That was really pretty. All right, so definitely, like with the cards you pulled, the last one, what was it? I forgot what it was called. Something like taking me home or carrying me home. And that one I feel like had, like a caring perspective to it, like caring, not caring physically, but, like emotionally being there and caring for that person, picking them up, helping them in the time of need. I feel like that is what that card meant. And you really feel a sense of, like you need to help him, especially with your dreams, of the dreams of him being stabbed and dreams of, like him having those emotional issues and him coming to you for help. You really have that urge to want to be there for him and take care of him. So I feel like, the healing card is exactly, what you're being drawn to do for him. And the healing card for him is something that he desperately needs. He may not see that, but he needs some healing. This boy got some issues, and you have the guidance to help him. So, that was the basic spread. But I wanted to go a little bit deeper into the healing card. So, for you, I pulled cassowary. Don't know how to say that either, but it's a bird and it represents respect. It is also a fire card, and it's number 15, so it would be 6. For him, I pulled red kangaroo, and that symbolizes responsibility, which, as we were seeing from the healing card, it was talking about taking responsibility. And the red kangaroo card is 28. So, I'm going to save your card for last. So for his card, I don't think it's earth. I don't think it's fire. Let me see if it's a different symbol. Because it's a different color than the other card, so it might be a different symbol here. If I can find it, but we'll see. Okay, so it's an earth card. So we have water for you guys. Fire for the core connected reason of you guys. Fire for your extended healing card, and earth for his extended healing card. Alright, so let's read his. I already read this. The first few paragraphs wasn't really necessary. It just kind of went into more of like the history of the red kangaroo and stuff. So we're going to start right over here. Oh, I'm trying to focus. All right, it's having difficulty focusing, so I'm just gonna read it. If Red Kangaroo has leaped into your cards today, you may be feeling as though you have sacrificed a large part of yourself for the benefit of your family. Maybe the time has come to reclaim these aspects instead of harboring resentment and jealousy. So, in the Black Swan card, in his card earlier, it was talking about resentment and having that resentment and harboring it so that it's blocking that grace that's within him. You know, it's not letting that grace shine through. And also with the healing card, I think it was talking about that too. So, not taking responsibility and holding on to that resentment and those things, you know, it's not helping. Gotta let those things go. Right. Are you living in a constant state of stress? For example, barely surviving from one day to the next. If so, do you see this as taking sound responsibility? If you are a parent, remember that everything you do inherently instills itself in the consciousness of your children as acceptable behavior. Ask yourself if you are taking your responsibility as parent, partner, or principal person seriously. Are you honoring the pledge of responsibility you made to yourself growing up? Or would you say that you are in an emotional drought or dormancy at the moment? If this is the case, it may be time to reanimate some element of yourself so that you can begin taking responsibility for your life and that of your children in a more productive, abundant manner. So just because it's mentioning children doesn't actually mean physical children. It could just be mentioning children could be like things or people, you know, that he really cares about or cherishes, you know, things that really like hold close to home to him. It could also mean himself too. But the main thing about this one was about taking the responsibility, you know, for the things that he like set out to do. And I feel like, especially with the healing card, the Kookaburra card, it was talking about responsibility a lot too. And so for him, he's got like the outer appearance of something else that is not representing what he truly needs to represent, which is his grace. Sorry. And so all those things, you know, all that resentment, all those issues in the past, you know, all the pent-up pain that, you know, he's had to deal with, you know, that's all pushed aside his grace. And like I was talking to you, you know, it's built up that wall and that alter ego of his where he personifies himself as being, you know, this tough, macho player type of guy, you know, when he tells you that's really not who he is. And I do believe that. I'm sure there's been some times where he's probably played up that image, and had to go along with it, and did, fall into that trap of being a player and whatnot. But deep down, truly, I feel he has that sense of grace and is a different person than what he is putting off. But he needs some help from you, little platypus over there. He needs some help from you. He needs healing. This boy needs a lot of healing. And you're going to be there to guide him to that healing. But I feel like there is such a block there with that wall that he has put up that, he really does need your help. But he also needs to take in consideration his own doing. Like he is in the position that he is now, like what we learned from area school, everything, happened, from our own doing. We created our own reality. Therefore, he needs to own up and take responsibility for those things. Especially talking about his drug addiction being an issue, which, that totally is an issue. He needs to kind of, take responsibility, step up from that, and really see what these things are doing to him. And all they're doing is creating more of that wall, it's building it higher and higher. Those drugs aren't helping. And I think that you can be there, as guidance to help him out of that. But in the end, it's kind of got to be his own doing. It's his responsibility. He's got to kind of pull himself out of that hole. And then once he gets up there enough for you to reach him, then you can be there to help pull him out all the way. But yeah, his healing has to stem from himself and taking responsibility and delving kind of deep into those past issues and all those things of why he kind of is the way that he is. So he's got to really look into those things. And yeah. Okay, so your card for the healing. So we got Cassowary, which is respect, summer 15, so number 6 for numerology if you want to look into that. It was a fire card. 15. Okay, I am really going overboard here on the time. I'm sorry. I got into talking and it's taking forever. All right. Okay, so I'm going to read this just because it's your card. I really wanted to kind of give you all of it so you can kind of take from it what what picks up for you and stuff. All right. One creature or another occupies every square inch of our Earth Mother. The moment we leave our space, we step into that of another. We become their visitor, invited or not. When we drink from a stream or pick fruit from a tree, we are sharing this source of nourishment with other creatures. We share the air we breathe, the warmth of the sun, the refreshing breeze of our four winds, and the rain that falls from the sky with every other living thing on this earth. My phone is not capturing this, I'm sorry. We have to view our life as being the only one we will ever have and honor this chance to the utmost. We have to look at every lesson that is presented as being more important than the last. We only have one earth, and it is up to us to honor the space we have it while we are here. Simple. If Cassowary has swaggered into your cards today, said swaggered. Swag. If Cassowary has swaggered into your cards today, you are being asked to address your sense of sacred space and the way in which you treat the sacred space of others. If we honor and respect our space, others will learn to respect theirs. And if we honor the space of others, they will learn to respect ours. It is okay to refuse the inappropriate or interfering ways of others. Our sacred space is our territory, and we have the right to feel safe within it. Our home and everything associated with it, our possessions, our body, our feelings, our values, and beliefs can all be viewed as sacred spaces. And just as a wild animal will only allow other animals who instinctively respect territorial boundaries to enter their sacred space, we are encouraged by the dreaming of the cassowary to follow suit. It is important what others think of you. How you view yourself is what counts. It is not important what others think of you. How you view yourself is what counts. You have to live with yourself and to feel proud of how you go about doing it. Cassowary says that in order to attract respect, it is vital to radiate self-respect, to show pride in your achievements, to radiate self-worth, and to adopt and mirror the favorable qualities of the people that are drawn to you rather than focusing on their negative traits. So, this one for you, with it talking about sacred space, I don't feel it means like like an area, like where I, have my area that I call my sacred space. I don't feel like it means that. I feel like it is talking about the sacredness of the space within your own physical being and respecting that. And I feel like with going through this journey with him and helping him heal and, delving into his, let's just say his inner demons that he has to work through. Along that journey, this card is kind of showing for you not to lose respect of yourself, kind of in the sense of is staying true to like your core beliefs. So I'm trying to figure out how to word this right, but like say if maybe like he like does something and it doesn't kind of like sit well with you, don't go along with it. Kind of like, hold your ground and stay true to yourself, and that kind of shows respect to yourself, and also kind of, like how we were like, I felt like maybe he's just kind of getting your pants, we didn't know if he wanted a relationship or what he wanted, it was confusing. So I feel like with this card too, is kind of symbolizing, to respect yourself, and don't let the guy just get in your pants kind of thing, to have that respect for yourself and don't let, that saying, but, all for it. If you want to have sex with a dude, do it. I don't care. But I just kind of feel like that's what the respect card is saying for, as in your own, like, your body is a sacred temple type of thing. So respect that sacred temple and don't let it be tampered with. Bad dude over here. But yeah, and also it goes hand in hand. So if you want respect, you got to kind of give respect too. Which I'm not saying you don't. You totally are a respectful person. But just being respectful with when dealing with his issues, because it's probably is a really sensitive subject, and some things he may not want to open up to, there could just be anything. If anything he tells you or anything he does, maybe don't laugh it off, like the kookaburra was saying too, with the laughter issue. Don't laugh it off, don't tease, don't make fun of, don't like nitpick at these little things. Just be respectful about his past, the things he's been through, things he's going through, even with the drug issue. Like, yeah, it's, we perceive it as, that's not good. You shouldn't do drugs. It's bad for you. You're letting it control your life, blah, blah, blah. But from his view, understanding with what he's gone through, that he goes to drugs to kind of, block those memories out. you know, like the healing card and the red kangaroo, you know, it's not good for him, but that is what he feels is what he needs to help him. So even though, you know, we know it's not good, we still have to be respectful of why he chooses those things, because it may help him in a certain way that we don't understand. So I feel like, in a way, that can kind of help heal you in its own sense of a process of respect. So maybe give you kind of, you know, like a whole nother insight into respect and into the type of person he is, and how they struggle with these things. So maybe you can learn a few things from him as well as him learning something from you. But the main card here for both of you was healing. So I really feel, you know, that with everything that you've, you know, been feeling in your dreams and stuff, I really feel like, you know, he was put here with the type of person that we got from here and the things he needs to do in your cards, and healing being the center of it all. I feel like you really are meant to guide him. You may not be able to do it 100% and help him and hold his hand the whole way through, because he's got to take care of a lot of those things on his own. But you will be there as a shoulder for him to lean on, you know, and be there when he reaches towards the end of the tunnel to help finish the journey and pull him out. Yeah, so this video is almost 40 minutes long. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think it went really good. This is the first time I've actually used my oracle cards as like a whole spread. Like normally I do this with tarot cards, but I was really drawn to using this one because it's the Australian one and I wanted to use it for you guys. And I had it sitting here and I've been like contemplating on doing a reading with it today. And then your issues came up and I was like, oh, this is perfect. I'm going to use the spread that I saw today. So yeah, it totally worked out. Perfect. Everything, synchronicity today. It was awesome. So let me know how you feel about this spread. And I look forward to reading yours too.